Howdy, boy. I'm up here. I ain't need to be looking at my old ugly face. What we're gonna talk about today is man, this 300 blackouts are really popular around these days. That's a fine shooting weapon, and I tell you what, it's a challenge to find ammunition in the store for them. So reloading's about the best bet you can get. The brass is hard to find. When you do find it, I know I just bought 50 new cases from Hornady, and that stuff was $36 for that box. Plus, I had to pay the UPS man to bring it to me. Whew, man. Anyway, so what a lot of the other fellas are doing is they're taking their old 5.56 brass, 223, and what we'll do, we'll cut that neck off right there. And there's been 2 or 3 ways to do it. Some folks will take a Dremel tool, a little grind cutting wheel, and that cuts it off, but that's kind of cumbersome and hard to do, and hard to get. You want it fairly straight. It don't have to be just exactly straight. Another method has been more effective and not easy to use has been a regular old tubing cutter. This is just a general tool. You can buy that at most any hardware store or home improvement center. There's 1,000 brands out there, but just kind of make sure it's fairly good quality. It don't have to be engineered to the nth degree, as my old granddaddy used to say. And you want to make sure you got a good sharp cutter wheel on it, and everything's lubed up and it works pretty good. And I started out, I saw a fella do this one time. Started out, doing it by hand, getting this puppy in here and getting it in there and cranking down on it and turning it by hand, and you can do it, and sometimes it'll wobble around, and sometimes it wants to kind of candy cane stripe it and walk down the case and all that business, and it's a real pain in the rear end. So I figured there got to be a little bit better way to do it. So this morning I was sitting there drinking coffee, and it come to me like a flash. I was overcome. I got this little old vise right here. It's just a little old cheap old clamp on vise, clamped right on my edge of my little workbench right here. So set it up right there, and then I take my tubing cutter. Look here, stick it right in there just like that. And so you got to leave enough room for that little slide to slide, and it works out just right. And you want to tighten it down enough where it's not wobbling all over the place. Don't have to put the monster grip on it. And then I commenced to putting it in here like this, trying to turn it. Well, as I'm cutting these off, I'm going right back here to my press with my 300 blackout expander die and going and making me around. See, it looks like that when I get to it. Well, when I do that, I use this Hornady unique casing lube. It's kind of a waxy stuff. Well, anyway, once you get it on your fingers, trying to turn this casing here is about like trying to pull an eel out of a mud hole. It's pretty slick. It don't work too good. So, I had another brainstorm. My handy dandy cordless drill. I'll chuck this round up in here, just like that right there, and then I'll put that in there just like that, open it up, and you want to cut that right as close to that upset on that 5.56 bottleneck as you can, and you can kind of go slow, get yourself started. Once you get a little bite, well, this ain't wanting to do right for me, boys. Wouldn't you know it? I get it on YouTube and it don't want to do right. But I'll get it to do right, don't you worry. There she goes. Alright, kind of boogered it up a little bit. I got it a little bit too long. Let's try another one. And what they say, if at first you don't succeed, grab your another one and do it again. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to chuck it up in here. Let's see if I can do a little bit better this time. I probably didn't have quite enough bite on it. Alright. There you go. That's what I was talking about right there. That's what I was talking about right there. See there, fella? Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. You can always make things work if you set your mind to it. Set your mind to it. Alright, like I said, now I'm going to take this right straight over here to my Hornady expander dial. First I'm going to put a little of this here. Unique. Yeah, Hornady Unique. And what I like about this, especially when you kind of piddling, doing one or two rounds at a time, getting things set up and getting your dies set up and all that kind of stuff, you don't have to get out that lube pad and spray and all whatever other kind and lube. Just do, one or two at a time. Or, I mean, heck, even if you're doing a dozen, we just want to get out and so you work up, say 15, 3 different powder charges, and you're trying to work up a little load. See, then you're just doing this. You don't need all that. Get all that lube and stuff out. One thing I'm going to show you. Now, the Hornady book says that the case length maximum finished is 1.368. See right down at 1.368. So that's what we need to. That's what we need to wind up with. When we cut that cap off, or that nipple off of that, I got a 1.407. That's after cutting that. So that 1.407. Okay. So we're a little bit ahead of the game, and we ain't even stretched the neck on it yet. So let's pop it in the die. Put it down. Ain't got enough room in here. Cam it over. Pull it out. Woo-hoo-hoo, look at that, boy. Ain't that pretty? Ain't that pretty? Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. Then we'll measure it again, see what we got for case length. Alright, we got, looks like 1.414. And what I say we need to have to put a bullet in it? 1.368. So we're good to go. We'll trim that puppy. It's always easier to trim it than it is. You can't make it grow much. Okay. Alright, well that's it, fellas. That's my little tip. And of course, after you get it trimmed, then you take your deburr and your dechamfer and you clean it all up. And of course, I ain't got no primer in here yet either. So after we get trimmed and deburred and dechamfered, then the next place we're going to be going is we're going to put primers in, and then of course your powder charge, and then of course your bullet. So y'all know all that stuff already, but I'm just kind of covering old territory there. Don't have to get reminded about stuff from time to time, do you? Yeah. Okay, boys, y'all take care, and come back and see me sometime. All right, talk to you later. Bye.